Good afternoon and welcome to Take Action News with David Shuster. This is executive producer Daniel Marins and the host chair this hour. We have a great hour ahead of us. In just a few minutes, we're going to be talking to two activists, two AFL-CIO union summer interns who are participating right now in a day of action against death traps, to end death traps like the ones in Bangladesh that killed people in the garment factory at Rana Plaza, that killed more than 1,100 people. We're going to be talking to them live from the International Day of Action. We've been highlighting this action for weeks now. We'll also tell you a little bit about some of the new news on that front in terms of the U.S. is revoking their preferential trade status from the generalized system of preferences. But first, there is something of a funny story this week, if it weren't so hateful, and that is a certain organization called the Family Research Council, which is one of the country's many right-wing anti-gay groups, announced that it was having a day of prayer tomorrow, Sunday, June 30th. And guess what they're calling it? They're calling it the Call to Fall. Isn't that cool how they're using the number 2 to get those young kiddies in there, because everybody knows it's really cool to use numbers for words. But most interesting part about it is that the Call to Fall logo, and Pete, if we can get an image, we got an image of Call to Fall up there on the screen for all our viewers. It essentially looks like a guy on his knees putting his hand to his mouth as he bends on his knees. And it says, Call to Fall on our knees for America. Amen. And as John Aravosis has reported in an America blog, and I think apparently Chris Geidner first spotted it, it looks a lot like a man performing fellatio. And, I think that this is just sort of the classic pot calling the kettle black, that the anti-gay groups are really, really insecure about their sexuality, and they couldn't help but manifesting it by showing the most Christian, in their view, not gay thing, but really looks like a man performing fellatio. David, did this strike you as fellatio? Am I just being perverted here, or this looks like fellatio, doesn't it?
Well, there are two things that are going on, and I'm looking at the logo right now. And encourage everybody to go to Take Action News TV live on YouTube so you can see this logo. It looks like the guy's on his hands. I can see how I suppose he's on his hands and knees sort of praying, but to me it looks much more like he's performing fellatio than he's actually praying. And the other way you could look at it is, this is also the pose that I suppose if somebody wanted to, we talk about doggie style in terms of sexual positions, it could be that the person is resting his arms on a pillow, and I want to be too crude, but this logo is unbelievable.
He could be taking it from behind, is what you're saying. Yeah, for those who don't know what doggy style is. Yeah, and I think that it's good for Call to Fall. It's good for the Family Research Council to be encouraging people to be creative about sexual positions. Like missionary, they used to be that was just the Christian thing to do. Man on top of woman, man on top of man, whatever. And here they are, they're like, take it from behind, be a little creative for your partner, maybe go down on them. And I think that's like sort of like socialism in the bedroom, sharing, equality, and, I just, and the fact that they said on our knees for America, that's like I want to give the country a blowjob, and to me that's beautiful, because that, if that's really just a metaphor for affection. David, I'm really glad we're doing this before our affiliates join us, because we might get fined by the FCC if we continue to go further.
Here's one thing though, Dana, is there any possibility that there is somebody in the Family Research Council who really is, some sort of plant, or like a double agent,
a Manchurian
who is really
candidate,
progressive, who is putting this forward just to sort of, cause trouble? Or the other possibility is, did the Family Research Council put it out this way knowing that there would be controversy over this in order to get everybody sort of joking and laughing about it, to draw more attention to their rallies and their getting on their knees tomorrow?
David, I wish they were that savvy, but I just don't know. I don't know. Did they appoint Lindsey Graham, who sounds kind of gay, to be like an anti-gay spokesperson? I don't know, because of the irony. That just seems like that would be, or do they, did Ted Haggard and all those people that are caught with like Rent-A-Boy, I just think that there's a lot of repression and also really this is something that I see across the board with conservative organizations, that they try and make these really hateful and or emotional important political issues sort of sound appealing to the kids that normally wouldn't be, and their efforts just appear incredibly strained, and here I think it's coming back to haunt them. So I have no sympathy, no sympathy whatsoever, and I encourage everyone not to participate in Call to Fall. I encourage everyone to pray for acceptance, and if that means getting on your knees for America, that's fine too. In just a few seconds, our syndicated stations are going to join us in Chicago, Columbus, Grand Rapids, and of course across the country on TakeActionNews.com, YouTube.com/TakeActionNewsTV. Subscribe to us on YouTube. It's one click, and you'll get free clips of myself, David Shuster, Pete Johnny Depp Callahan in your inbox every single day.